The growth of adult females is 5 meters. Male giraffes can grow up to 6 meters, and their weight sometimes exceeds 2 tons. Females are lower and not as heavy, a maximum of 800 kg. The main part of the length falls on the front legs and neck, which can grow up to 2 meters. Can rotate their head almost 360 degrees. And it's not just the length of the neck. The joints between the cervical vertebrae of this animal are arranged in the same way as the joint that connects the arm to the shoulder. This design allows us to move the upper limbs in all directions. At the same time, giraffes have only 7 vertebrae in a 2-meter neck, as many as other mammals, whose necks are several times shorter. Giraffes can lower their necks almost to the ground to drink water, and lay them on their hips to rest, turned back. They can wrap it around the neck of the female they like and swing it to inflict a sensitive headbutt on the opponent. Giraffes can lie down, but try not to. The task of getting up from the ground is not trivial for giraffes. This process requires significant tension of all muscles, and if the giant falls, which is quite likely due to the shifted center of gravity, he will almost inevitably break his legs. Therefore, giraffes try to sit down and, moreover, go to bed as rarely as possible, and sleep mostly standing up. The cubs, who are still mistreating their bodies, completely fall to one side, without straightening their legs, if they decide to lie down. Only walk on hard surfaces. Large mass and thin limbs complicate even ordinary walking. Giraffes can only move on a hard surface. Giraffes are famous for their spotted skin color, and each animal has an individual color. These animals live in the African savannas south and southeast of the Sahara. In the wild, giraffes live for about 25 years. Giraffes have a very long tongue. The main dish of giraffes is acacia leaves. They contain a lot of moisture, and thanks to this, animals cannot drink for a long time. To get foliage at a height, they are helped by a tongue, the length of which reaches half a meter. Help people develop a spacesuit. Under the influence of gravity, blood accumulates in the lower part of the giraffe's legs. More precisely, this would have happened if the animal organism had not adapted to the monstrous pressure of 400 mm Hg. Blood is not allowed to accumulate at the bottom of the reinforced walls of blood vessels and dense layers of connective tissue in the skin. These mechanisms work so effectively that the U.S. Space Agency (NASA) partially copied them when developing spacesuits. A giraffe's heart weighs over 10 kg. Giraffes raise and lower their heads hundreds of times a day, and to get to the brain, the blood must travel about 3 meters. The total volume of blood in the neck of a giraffe is so great that, if there were human vessels in the head of these animals, they would immediately be torn apart by colossal pressure. An impressive heart saves giraffes from oxygen starvation. It often weighs more than 10 kilograms, and its length exceeds 60 centimeters. Giraffes do not faint from oxygen deprivation when they raise their heads, and their arteries do not tear when blood rushes to the lowered head, thanks to the extremely elastic vascular wall. It takes on the onslaught of blood, and the pressure in the brain remains virtually unchanged. If the vessels were a little less elastic, they would be squeezed when the giraffe tried to tilt its neck.
A huge number of animal species live on our planet, predatory and herbivorous, huge and small. Domestic and wild, cute and lovely animals. Our task is to take care and love them.